Hello, my name is Asia Gillette, and today I want to talk about language resilience in New Zealand. But before I do so, I wanted to put things into perspective a little bit. So, why should we even care about the resilience of a language? According to UNESCO, around 3,000 languages could disappear before the end of the century at a rate of one language every 2 weeks. So, let me repeat that. An entire language could disappear every 2 weeks, and that is crazy to me. So language resilience, however, keeps helps to keep a language system alive. Okay, so a little background about me before we get started. So I'm passionate about languages and language learning. In addition to that, I'm also Indigenous Maori, and I wanted to focus on a system in New Zealand. So I chose to focus on the Maori language system in New Zealand with the goal of increasing the number of Maori language speakers. Okay, what is a language system? So, language system, let's start at the top. We have a pool of people that can speak that language. Then, moving on down to the right, we have a use. There are instances in which people can use that language. So, that's usually at school, at home, at work, with friends, things like that. Then we have media within that target language. That could be books, movies, music, all within that target language. From there, we have language passed to generation two. So, all those language speakers we started at the beginning with, they're now having kids and teaching their children the language at home or maybe in kindergarten and things like that. And then from there, they move up to now becoming the new pool of language speakers. So, within this language system, I had three indicators I wanted to watch. First is language endangerment map. Number two is the number of Maori speakers. Number three was the number of registered Maori. So I'll explain these a little bit more as we go through. Okay, so indicator one, this is the map I was looking at. Basically, they've gone through every country and categorized which languages are in danger and like what their status is. So we can see towards the bottom, New Zealand, that little red dot right there is Maori. And as we can see, the legend at the top, the little red means that it's severely endangered. Okay, so moving on, indicator two. So they actually did have data for the number of people that can speak and understand Te Reo Maori or the Maori language. And it's categorized by age, which is really fantastic. However, the biggest limitation I've had with this project is not having up to date info. So this chart is from 2013, and the map that we saw earlier was from 2018. Indicator three, and this one has been more useful because so it's categorized by tribe. And this was really interesting because Indigenous Maori are able to register themselves to a tribe. It's usually your parents' tribe or maybe your grandparents' tribe. It just kind of comes down to the person and their case. But basically, you register for a tribe, but tribes can span a really large area. So they also register for a specific marae. And marae is basically a multi purpose community building that is used to hold cultural events. So you can be identified by that. This is really nice because if they're taking the time to register for their tribes and their maraes, they're usually interested in being more culturally connected and interested in learning the Maori language. This is also really nice because Morais are the perfect organization in which we can conduct a little citizen science and basically overcome the limitation of having the super old data. And we can go through and provide a more accurate more accurate and updated count of Maori speakers and their fluency. So, what is the application of GIS in this instance? So, I really wanted to have a map that displays how many Maori speakers are in New Zealand currently, as well as comparing that to past years, dating up to when New Zealand was initially colonized, just to see what those numbers were, how it declined, and how it's increasing. It also would be really nice because we can compare and contrast which areas have higher rates of speakers and implement whatever processes they have to increase the number of speakers in other areas. So these are the sources that I use, and I just wanted to thank everyone so much for listening.